Hey guys, thanks for watching Beyond Science 2. It's Mike Chen. Have you ever sat inside a tiny office cubicle and asked yourself why you have such a boring desk job? Trust me, I've been there. Accounting major, right here. God, that was not exciting. Look, in my defense, I didn't think I had many options. I mean, I'm Asian, so I was supposed to be either an accountant, engineer, or doctor, right? But if only I knew about some of these interesting or just flat out strange jobs, my life might have been a lot different. So here are some of the strangest jobs in the world you've probably never heard of. First off, I'm sure you've seen the viral videos of a super, and I mean super crowded subway train in Japan, and then you see people actually shoving the overflowing passengers into the trains. Well, that's an actual job called oshiya, or people onto train pushers, a helpful pusher unlike the other kinds. In Japan, during rush hours, railway station attendants called pushers, or oshiya, have the job of pushing passengers into trains due to the crazy train traffic. Because the Japanese railway system is huge, and in order for everyone to get to work or school on time, attendants have the job of squishing as many people onto the trains as humanly possible. The pusher not only needs brute strength, but also needs a certain amount of skill. And this job also requires training for up to 6 months. And my guess is a big part of that training is to watch videos on good touch, bad touch. Next up, this is a job that's common in most places with chickens or large commercial hatcheries. Trained professionals called chicken sexers are hired to distinguish the gender of newborn chicks. They do this through a method called venting, which is basically squeezing the baby chick until it poops or pees. Once it does this, the chicken sexers will be able to see the chick's genitalia, allowing them to distinguish its gender. Sounds stupid, right? But this job has a salary of $50,000 a year. And apparently there's a shortage of chicken sexers in the UK. And this is another one of those jobs where you need to find the proper balance because you don't want to accidentally linny the little chicks. Also, I'm wondering, what if the chicks don't have to go? Number 3, official elephant dressers. In countries like India, Sri Lanka, China, and South Korea, elephants aren't just specimens at the zoo. They also partake in many events and festivals where they are dressed up and used to parade around the streets. And you can't just have anyone dressing the elephants. There needs to be specialized elephant dressers. They are in charge of picking the appropriate outfits and creating beautiful costumes for the elephants that take part in religious festivals and ceremonies. Also, they need to make sure that the outfits they pick out really brings out the elephant's eyes. Next up, snake milker. Yeah, snake milker. This is a job that obviously has to do with snakes, and it's gonna be a job I will always stay away from. What's even worse is that you're milking snakes. I didn't even know you could milk snakes.
Oh yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
Okay, I don't think snakes have nipples, but I gotta be honest, I never really looked. And in this case, milkers have to milk snakes for their venom, which plays an important role in science, which is valued because it can be used for anti-venom and medicine. Although extracted venom serves a good purpose, the snake milkers have it pretty bad. They have to deal with deadly snakes every single day and place their fingers millimeters away from the sharp fangs of vipers, cobras, mambas, and rattlesnakes. A snake milker is responsible for breeding the snakes as well because, well, simple math, more snakes equals more venom. And you can't just be fearless to do this. You have to have a degree in biology or chemistry or biochem. On average, snake milkers only make around $2,500 a month, which is surprising considering how deadly the job is. Also, I'm kind of confused here. Can anyone please explain to me why a person milking a snake makes almost twice as less as people who make little chickens pee? Number 5, this is crazy. Iceberg mover. The iceberg moving profession became a thing after the Titanic sank in 1912. A year after the disaster, the International Ice Patrol, I didn't know that was a thing, was founded to track the location of icebergs and provide safe routes around them. These icebergs are monitored by the US Coast Guard, who towed the icebergs out of the path of oncoming ships. The process is very difficult and pricey as it costs millions to tow icebergs and up to 72 hours to move a single iceberg out of a ship's path. Although salaries are kind of vague, it's known that high rankers in the US Coast Guard make around $170,000 a year. I don't really understand why the ships themselves couldn't just, go around the icebergs. Number 6, this is disgusting. Dog food taster. If you've ever looked at your dog's food and thought, I wonder if that tastes good, just know that there is an actual profession out there called dog food tasters. These people are hired by pet food companies to test the quality of their products. I guess this makes sense because you can't really ask a dog if he's enjoying the food. The dog food tasters evaluate not only the taste but also the nutritional value. They usually spit the food out once they taste it, but that still sounds pretty nasty. And these tasters make a killing, up to $77,000 a year. So if you ever walked down the pet food aisle, saw a milk bowl and thought that looked tasty, this might be a job for you. Next up, I really want a job doing this. Fortune cookie writer. Yeah, and you probably thought all those wise sayings were from Confucius or something. Like he's gonna tell you someone you know is gonna get married this year and give you Powerball numbers. Anyway, the fortune cookie writer job is a real job done by real people. Freelancers or in-house writers are hired by fortune cookie manufacturers to come up with inspiring or witty fortunes. Which does bring up a question. How come my fortunes are always useless and make absolutely no sense whatsoever? But I have to admit, some of these are pretty witty. Like when you get a fortune that reads, "Help, I'm trapped in a Chinese fortune cookie factory." Maybe he is trapped. Number 8, human scarecrow. This is a job that sounds pretty easy, right? Unless they're making you sit on top of a stick. But being a human scarecrow is not as relaxing as it sounds, just ask this guy. So outside of Gotham, you have to stand in the middle of the field regardless of weather. And the only company you have for the entire 8-hour shift is the occasional farmer or passerby. Also, the pay is pretty bad. You only get around $300 a week, which is not enough to make a living. I mean, that's just horrible. You're just standing around, you're scaring away wildlife, and you only get around $300 a week. Maybe that's why people go crazy and start making crop circles. Finally, this is the craziest one on this list, maybe. Professional crab peeler. Yes, this is actually a thing that's been pretty hot in China recently. People eating crab at restaurants are hiring professional crab peelers to peel their crabs for them. Not only do these workers peel crabs, but they also provide company and companion to the people who eat along. Most of the time, these workers are pretty girls too, so maybe that's the thing. But some people, I'm sure, are just looking at the crab going, yeah, I can't be bothered doing that. And this job could be pretty lucrative if you can peel a lot of crabs. A woman in China has been charging 10 renminbi, or about $1.50 for each crab peeled, an additional 5 renminbi if the person wants to be fed. Although it doesn't sound like a lot, it's a pretty simple job that makes easy money, so why not? Okay, I've got to say, I would never hire a crab peeler, but I understand the frustration. I hate peeling crabs. The only crabs I'm okay peeling are those snow crabs with the long legs and you just snap them in half, the meat comes out. That's pretty easy. But then when you get like a blue crab or a Dungeness crab, I feel like I burn more calories trying to get to the meat than the meat actually provides. But let me know, guys, if you could afford it, would you hire a professional crab peeler? Also, are there any jobs on this list that you would actually take? Thanks for watching, everybody. See you.